Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. A very special welcome if you are new. My name is Leah Simpson. This is Homeschool at Heart, and today we're going to be talking about my book reading goals for 2025. All right, you guys. So if you don't know, I am a huge book nerd. I love to read more than almost anything else, and I read quite a lot, actually. I read 51 books last year, but I'll have to look up the number of pages. I will put it down here at the bottom of the screen for you guys when I look that up for you, but it was a huge number of pages. I'm not as much into books as like some of the bookstagrammers out there. I have some friends who read a lot more than I do, but I do a lot of theater and I, homeschool my kids and all of that too, so we'll take that into account because, it is a little bit like a full-time job homeschooling kids, as you all know. But I do enjoy a lot of reading time. It is sort of like my me time. I am not going to lie. I do read a lot of those books on audio. I have my AirPods in and I do, quote unquote multitask while I am reading, but I do love to sit down with a paperback and drink a cup of tea while I'm, doing nothing else but zoning in on the page. That is my favorite way to read a book, if I can get it that way. So, but I got a brand new, beautiful book journal this year. I am going to share it with you guys. I did a little filming of the inside of this. I was doing my own bullet journal version of this, but I just don't have time to devote to that and actually reading books. So I bought this one. I was sucked in, guys. I will tell you. I was sucked in by the Instagram ad of this like really cool looking one. And I want to know in the comments, did you guys get sucked in by this ad too and then like regret it? It was like $30. It came probably from China. I can't remember where it came from. It took a long time to get here, and then there was like actual typos inside of this book journal, and then it like did not actually deliver what it said it was supposed to. I'll try to put a picture in the video because I still have it. If I can find it, I'll put a picture in here. But I was like super annoyed. I put it on my Instagram. I was like, what is this? Why? I was so angry about it. But I did have I had a friend, my friend Amy was like, I bought that too and I can't believe it. It was so awful. Anyway, but a friend who also reads a ton recommended this, and this lady, and I will put her info in the description box below. It did not disappoint. She has a bunch of different choices depending on your needs. It's from, I think, a company called Little Inklings. Yeah, Little Inklings. I will put her website in the description box. This is awesome, you guys. So many different ways that you can fill this out. And I will show you the whole inside of it in just a little bit. But anyway, let's talk about what my goals actually are for this year. Let's see if I can find the goal page. All right, here it is. So the goal page is pretty cool. I filled out every single one of these blanks. Okay, so first of all, 60 books. We're gonna read 60 books. Okay, and then I started filling this out I should have done pencil probably, but we'll see. So I put in, the next thing I put in was read an actual scary book, because I have started scary books and then I've like, well, I'm not really a do not finish person. So, well, I guess I used to be, but you know, I don't, okay. How many of you are Friends watchers? Have you ever watched Friends and there's that one episode where Joey's like, he puts his book in the freezer. He's reading The Shining and he puts it in the freezer and Rachel's like, Joey, why is there a book in the freezer? And he's like, I got scared. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna put the book in the freezer. Anyway. So anyway, a thing about me is I'm not a do not finisher. So I'm gonna figure out a scary book. So does anybody read scary books and like have I'm a chicken, so I like thrillers. I've read lots of thrillers. So what's a good starter, like actual horror book? Because I don't want to be real scared. I don't want to be like up all night, like afraid. So, but that leads me into this next one, is read a book for every genre. Okay. And then read 5 books that are actually good for me. So like, you know, not like self-help books, but like, you know, Christian living books or books about homeschooling or things like that. Next, read 5 books that I actually own, like books that are on my bookshelf that I've already bought. I did just buy a book at Barnes & Noble because I had a gift card from a Secret Santa gift that if you watched my last video, I was talking about Secret Santa. I got a Barnes & Noble gift card, so I went and spent it on a book at Barnes & Noble that I think my kids might actually even be able to read. I know, in the adult book section I bought it. Okay, and then the alphabet challenge, which if you don't know is read a book for that starts with the letter, like each letter of the alphabet. So like I read Assistant to the Villain, so that starts with the letter A. So I gotta read read a book that starts with each letter of the alphabet. Read 3 classics. So I'll read 3 different classic books. Last year I read Frankenstein and I read Jekyll and Hyde and I read Emma. So we'll do that again this year. And then this last one's gonna be rough, you guys. Okay. I've been wanting to do this for like a year. Okay. So let me know in the comments, would you watch this? I want to start a book talk. So I'm kind of scared though. People on TikTok are so scary. So those are my goals, okay? Those are my goals. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you this really cool book journal, okay? Okay, so this is the book journal I decided to use this year. I have in the past used a dot journal or a bullet journal for this, but I just feel like that's so much work right now and I'm just trying to simplify. So I bought this already done one and I may not use every bit of it, but I'm going to try to use as much of it as I can. So this one was so cute and it came from a place called Little Inklings and I will link them below. So I'm going to show you guys what's in here, okay? Because I feel like there wasn't as much, like it showed enough of it on the website that I knew I wanted to buy this specific one, but there was no, it didn't show all of the stuff, and so I'm going to show you guys all of it. So, because it's got like so much really cool stuff in it. Okay, so it has your rating system. So it has like the conversion formulas here. for like how much book read, audio time listened to page count, ebook percentage read to page count. You can list your most anticipated books, and then there's like a legend. You can put your goals in here, which I'm going to fill out as soon as I'm finished filming this. Dates to remember. So like, for instance, if you want to remember when a specific book is coming out, or like a release party coming up for a certain book, from the Fourth Wing series coming out soon. You know, if you are reading those. Reading checklist. Reading checklist. Here is, I think there's like 100 books on here, which my reading goal is like 60 quotes, which I thought this was cool. So like if you're doing like a commonplace book, which I have done in the past, you do your quotes here. Book series tracker, so you put what your book series is. So for instance, Fourth Wing. And so far there are 3 books. So you would fill in like, oh, I read the first one, second one, so you put check marks or whatever you're putting in. You could just fill in the square, I guess. Your wish list. Where you're gonna, the item, where you're gonna get it from, the price. Author backlists. So if there's books that you haven't read from an author, so like I was saying, the author of the Fourth Wing series is Rebecca Yarros. She has other books that I haven't read yet. I don't know if I will, but you know, books to reread. So like, you know, my yearly reread of Pride and Prejudice would go on here. This one is open to your creativity. You could record book club picks, which I am doing. I think I'm going to be doing a book club with the Simpson Family girls this year. So I would put my book club picks from that book club in here, and then you can, you know, put your little book cover on here and then give them their rating. Battle of the books, so like your top books of the year. 5-star reads. I like that it has like what format you read them in. Your A to Z challenge. 1 book from every letter of the alphabet. Here's a different reading challenge. So like an award-winning book from the previous year, a book set in your country, a book by an indigenous author, a book involving a sport. On the cover reading challenge, read books with the covers featuring the following: flowers, a mythical creature, mountains, glasses. This one's a reading rainbow one, so different color books. And then it also has like bonuses: pattern, pastel, rainbow, multicolor, or your favorite color. Genre reading challenge. This is cool because then, you know, you kind of like break out of your rut. Through the ages, so there's different time periods. This one has around the world, so different books that are like set in a different place than where you typically would read from, so that's kind of cool. This one you get to kind of like make up your own reading goal tracker. So like, how many books are you planning to read? I'm planning to try to read 60. So I'd probably circle this or put a star around it or something. Monthly reading stats. Genre tally. So you put your genres here and then see how many you read of each. And then you can do with this as you would. Star rating, book format, genres read, and then there's like a lot of things in here that are kind of left up to your own interpretation. Okay, and then you have some calendar pages. So this one will be January. So you could also use this as like your day planner if you wanted. They have some like cute little coloring sections up here at the top. You have a little bit of notes. Most anticipated book. And then books to read. It looks like a cute little library card. Here, new releases. Bookish haul. So like if you buy books during this month, which we all do, right? And then reading wrap up. So reading stats. You could write which books you read. And then we've got total number of books read, average rating, pages read, hours listened, format, print, ebook, audiobook, best book, genres, and then you can add some things here if you want. These are blanks. And then there's 12 of these. And then you get into these pages back here at the back. So these are for your thoughts about each one of your books. So title, author, started, finished, length, if you got where you have gotten the book, your collection, library, ARC, other, published date, would you recommend it, how many stars, genre, format, setting, did you post this? So like, are you a YouTuber? Are you a bookstagrammer? Are you a book talker? I was trying to think of the word. And then what are your thoughts about the book? Oh, and a place for a picture. And then there's some more blanks here. So yeah, that's it. So here is some of the stuff filled in. So here is my cute little, I put in my little things. I used my Canon Ivy printer to print my little covers, and then I filled in all of the information here. I have my January dates filled in here. And then what else have I filled in so far? So A to Z challenge, assistant to the villain. That's the only one, because the only other book I've read is the other one. It's the sequel to that, but it starts with an A also. And then, oh, apprentice to the villain. And then for the colors, we did red and indigo. So what I did was I did a grid with like 4. So I just printed these out. So I printed this one. I put 2 of this and 2 of this as a grid on like one little sheet that this printed out, and then I cut them apart. This one only used 1 sheet. So I saved some money. And then I filled in the fantasy genre on here. And my reading goal tracker. I put 2 little stickers on there because I've read 2 books. And then on my genre tally, it's a fantasy book, 2 fantasy books, those Assistant and Apprentice to the Villain books. I'll get some historical fiction in next. 2 historical fiction, because I'm reading 2 historical fictions currently. And that's it. So there you go. The other thing that I'm using on my phone is Storygraph. So I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. There we go. So see this app right here? So this is Storygraph. So this is the book I'm reading, The Storyteller. But if you go to this right here, you can see all of the stats of what I've been reading right now. And that's pretty cool. So that's the app that I'm using on my phone. I have read 2 books that total 676 pages. The average time to finish is 6 days. They're both medium pace, both fiction, both romance fantasy books, both by the same author. So, oh, I was gonna look up, so let's see, view stats for 2024. So if you look at my stats for 2024, you can see all of these genres, and I guess they're saying moods, but this is a little bit off because I read a lot of audiobooks, but I didn't take the time to put it all in there like that. So anyway, but I really like this app. So if anybody's looking for a good app for that, that is also a good one if you want, and it's free. You don't have to pay any kind of a fee for that. So if you don't want to do a paper book, but you want to keep track, that's a really good way to do it too. So anyway, that is all that I have for that. Oh, what else am I reading this month? I am also reading, in case you guys wanted to know, I'm also reading A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. That is the paper book that I am reading currently. And I'm reading The Storyteller. And then as soon as it comes out, I will be reading Onyx Storm. That is by Rebecca Yarros. That one is in the, oh shoot, why can't I remember the name? The Fourth Wing series. So that one is going to come out on January 21st, I believe. So I'll be reading that one coming up very soon. So as soon as that comes out, I'll be picking that one up. I already have it ordered in Audible. So I'm excited for that. Looking forward to that one. Although, just in case anybody's wondering, the Fourth Wing books have some spicy parts, so you have to skip through those. Or, I mean, if you're into that, then you don't have to skip through them, but I like to skip that part. So, anyway, that is all I got for you guys for this video. And let me know what you guys are reading right now, or what your reading recs are for me. I love a good fantasy novel. I love a good thriller. I love a good historical fiction. I am looking forward to reading The Third Gilmore Girl. I like a good memoir type book. I read a little bit of everything actually, except for I have not broken into the horror scene. So I am gonna get my feet wet into that coming up here. I wanna see if I can do it. So we shall see. I mean, Frankenstein and Jekyll and Hyde supposedly count, but they were not horror books. They're classics. I felt like they didn't count. So anywho, if I have to, I will read Dracula and make it count for my, but like I said, I'm not a do not finisher, so I might have to just stick that book in the freezer. All right, you guys, really gonna go. So I will see you guys in my next video. All right, you guys, funny story time. So if you've been following along, you know that I have had a huge like health saga, right? So I've got a brain condition. I'm okay. You know, I'm not gonna die from it. It's a thing that I'm gonna have to live with, but I'm not dying, okay? So if you're new, it's okay. But I, over the last several months, have had a lot of blood work. They want to take my blood constantly. So I don't know what it is. There's like, at the place I get my blood work done though, there are like 30 to 40 different little cubicles where you can go and get your blood drawn. But it seems like the last like 5 or 6 times, it's the same lady who gets me every single time. And I swear, you guys, she is the spitting image of Gru's mother from Despicable Me. She's like hunched over, and she's got the nose, and she's got the accent, and she's got the attitude. And I cannot with her. She's like, the first time she was like so out of sorts and like irritated with the world. The first time, I was so glad Tim came with me that time, because a lot of the times I go in there by myself because it's like not that big of a deal to me anymore. Like used to be like a huge deal to go and get blood drawn. But now I'm like, oh, it's like not that big of a deal, whatever. But she's like pulling these drawers open. She's like slams the basket down. She's like flinging things out into the little basket on the little cart. And then she like, you know, there's like this hole in the wall where the lab is like behind. And she's like, I don't have my vials. I need my vials. And then like the labels weren't printing out. She's like, I need my labels. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna like rip my arm off. And I just was like, we need to leave. We need to get out of here and never come back. Come on, let's go. So anyway, the following times, she was much more pleasant. But guys, every time I go in there, I'm always like secretly texting my husband being like, it's Gru's mother again. I may or may not make it out of here alive. So anyway, I'm sure she's perfectly lovely. All right, you guys, have a great week. I'll see you in the next one.